We're only here because you stole the heart in the first place.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 Disney characters who are actually the villain.
It was just an acorn that hit my son.
No,
little acorn.
Dad, no.
Quiet, son. This is embarrassing enough already.
For this list, we'll be looking at characters from Disney and Pixar films whose actions are more villainous, or at least less heroic, than they might first appear. To be clear, not all of them are outright bad, and many of them are redeemed. If there is a Disney character you think doesn't get as bad a rap as they should, tell us in the comments so we can redeem ourselves. Number 20. Maui, Moana. Look, it's impossible to hate Maui. The guy is charisma incarnate. The legendary hero is larger than life and an absolute blast to watch.
Honestly, I could go on and on. I could explain every natural phenomenon. The tide, the grass, the ground. Oh, that was Maui just messing around. I killed an eel, I buried its guts. Sprouted a tree, now you got coconuts.
However, he's also responsible for the film's whole conflict. Maui stole the heart of Te Fiti, changing her into Te Ka, and unleashing a blight across the islands of the world. And while he does join Moana in trying to rectify his mistake, after his magical fishhook is nearly destroyed, he briefly abandons her.
I could watch that all day. Okay, enjoy the island. Maui, out!
No! Stop! Hey! You have to put back the heart!
Maui does return, but he wouldn't need to go on this redemption journey if he'd never stolen the heart in the first place. Pride and a need for validation can be just as damaging in a hero as in a villain.
Look, what I did was wrong. I have no excuse. I'm sorry.
Number 19. Kenai, Brother Bear. Kenai is an Inuit boy who's transformed into a bear. However, the reason why is pretty dark for a Disney movie. Kenai provokes a bear who stole his food, prompting her to attack him.
Kenai! Kenai! Sitka, no! You gotta get out of here! What? The bear! Behind you! Ah!
When his brothers defend him, his brother Sitka is killed, and Kenai kills the bear in revenge. As punishment, he becomes a bear. During his time walking in a bear's paws, Kenai befriends Coda, a young bear.
I got separated from my mom. And now, with this hunter around...
Kid, I got my own problems.
Come on, please? Can't we just go together?
However, he eventually learns that Coda's mother was the bear that he killed. While Kenai wasn't overtly malicious, the fact is that his anger and recklessness resulted in the loss of his own family and Coda's.
I let you down.
I don't like this story.
You trusted me, believed in me, and I let you down.
Your mother's not coming.
Number 18. Jack Skellington, The Nightmare Before Christmas. Jack Skellington may be the protagonist of this beloved Halloween/Christmas movie, but he's not exactly a hero. Out of boredom, he stumbles into Christmastown and decides to take over the holiday by force.
It's your turn to take it easy.
But there must be some mistake.
See that he's comfortable. Just the second fella? Of course! That's what I'm missing.
He has Santa kidnapped, along with the Easter Bunny, and inadvertently delivers him into the hands of the nightmarish Oogie Boogie. Then, instead of bringing children joy, he terrifies them instead. Jack does clean up his mess eventually, but not before ignoring the desires of everyone around him and causing mass chaos and terror.
How could I be so blind? All this lost, where was I?
Number 17. King Stefan and Queen Leia, Sleeping Beauty. Kings and queens in Disney movies rarely get it right. For the christening of their daughter, Aurora, Queen Leia and King Stefan invite practically everyone in the kingdom, with one unfortunate exception. They don't invite Maleficent, who turns up anyway and curses Aurora to die after getting her finger pricked on a spindle.
Before the sun sets on her 16th birthday, she shall prick her finger on the spindle of a spinning wheel and die.
While one of the good fairies lessens the blow, Aurora is still sent to live with the fairies instead of with her family, and every spindle in the kingdom is burned. We admit that inviting the mistress of evil to your child's christening may have sounded bad on paper, but by snubbing Maleficent, the king and queen only provoked her ire and forced their daughter to grow up without them.
Battle's over! Girl's as good as here!
I'm sorry, Hubert, but after 16 years of worrying, never knowing
the past!
Number 16. Zeus, Hercules. The gods of Greek mythology are famously not so benevolent, and while Zeus in Hercules isn't anywhere near as bad as his mythological counterpart, he's still less than perfect. Zeus lives it up on Mount Olympus after sticking his brother Hades with a thankless job overseeing the underworld, and even mocking him for it.
You ought to slow down. You work yourself to death. Ha! Work yourself to death!
It's no wonder Hades tries to take over. Plus, after Hades turns Hercules mortal, Zeus doesn't bring him to Olympus or raise him because mortals aren't allowed. What, he can't bend the rules as king of the gods? Or commute to be a parent? And plus, he's willfully vague in how Herc has to become a true hero. Seems like the biggest thing standing between Zeus and his son is Zeus.
If you can prove yourself a true hero on Earth, your godhood will be restored.
A true hero? Great! Exactly how do you become a true hero?
Number 15. Troy and Gabriella, High School Musical. This might be a hot take, but these two probably didn't deserve to get the leads in the musical. Just look at things from Ryan and Sharpay's point of view. Troy and Gabriella are both involved in activities that already let them stand out, basketball and academic decathlon respectively. Not only that, the duo get callbacks after singing the exact same song they did, but slower.
I want you to know that I've never had someone that knows me like you do.
And sure, parts should always go to the most deserving, and we're all about finding new passions. But there's no reason they couldn't have gone for parts in the play other than the leads. It would have meant a less demanding schedule, and a chance for Sharpay and Ryan to pursue their own passion.
Something's not right. Really wrong. And we gotta get things back where they belong.
Number 14. Buck Cluck, Chicken Little.
Remember how I told you it would be better for you just to lay low, don't call attention to yourself, right?
Yes, but
see, it's like a game. Yeah, a game of hide and seek, except the goal is never to be found, ever.
Buck Cluck is a bad dad. When his son believes the sky is falling, Buck doesn't believe him or support him, turning the whole town against him. Buck seems embarrassed by his own child, and when he deigns to pay attention to Chicken Little at all, he gives him bad advice.
Just do me one favor, son.
Sure, Dad, anything.
Just please try not to get your hopes too high.
Even after his son wins a baseball game, the compliments he does give him are all backhanded.
I guess that puts the whole sky is falling incident behind us once and for all.
Sure, for most of us, Buck being terrible is obvious, and one of the major plot points in the movie. But tell that to Disney, who in 2020 put out this tweet. Number 13. Elena Rivera, Coco. Miguel's abuelita, Elena Rivera, may not be the villain of the film, but she is the cause of most of the major problems in it.
I asked if you would like more tamales.
See?
That's what I thought you said.
Abuelita runs our house just like Mama Imelda did.
No music.
Raised by her own grandmother to reject music after her grandfather never came home after going off to be a musician, Abuelita enforces this rule with overzealous enthusiasm. Not only does her draconian attitude alienate her grandson Miguel, but by refusing to put her grandfather's photo on the ofrenda, she leaves Hector in danger of being forgotten in the land of the dead.
Know that I'm with you, the only way that I can be. Until you're in my arms again. Remember me.
Abuelita does eventually come around, but her adherence to prejudice goes way too far. Number 12. Emperor Cusco, the Emperor's New Groove. The eponymous monarch of the Emperor's New Groove, Cusco is a spoiled, callous ruler before the story begins, and during much of the film.
No! You threw off my groove!
I'm sorry, but you've thrown off the Emperor's groove.
Cusco treats everyone around him as though they're beneath him, without regard for their feelings, since he frequently insults them.
Hate your hair. Not likely. Yikes, yikes, yikes. And let me guess, you have a great personality. Is this really the best you could do?
He also doesn't seem to care about their lives, like when he plans to build his new palace on Pacha's land.
Booyah! Welcome to Cusco-topia, my ultimate summer getaway, complete with water slide.
What?
Isn't it great? It's my birthday gift to me.
Given that Yzma practically raised him, we can see why he turned out the way he did, and why she tried to overthrow him. But that still does not excuse his appalling behavior.
Good, good. That's just what I wanted to hear.
Number 11. Joy, Inside Out. The perpetually peppy leader of the personified emotions of a young girl named Riley, Joy has the best interests of her human at heart.
I can't believe Mom and Dad moved us here.
Look, I get it. You guys have concerns, but we've been through worse. Tell you what, let's make a list of all the things Riley should be happy about.
But her methods are what ultimately cause most of the issues dealt with in the movie. Joy wants Riley to be happy, but her need to monopolize control leads her to exclude the other emotions, especially sadness, whose neglect leaves Riley unable to process how she feels about moving to a new city.
Hey, Sadness, you touched a memory? We talked about this.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Get back in your circle.
Joy's quest also leads her on an obsessive journey that ultimately leads to the death of an imaginary friend.
Don't you get it, Joy? We're stuck down here. We're forgotten.
Although she learns a costly lesson, she could have saved everyone some heartache if she'd been more willing to cede control or the spotlight to others.
Because that gave us plenty of time to think about what our new house is going to look like. What? Let's review the top 5 daydreams.
Number 10. Simba, The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride.
I banished you from the Pride Lands. Now you and your young cub. Get out.
Simba may be the hero of The Lion King, but in the sequel, he makes his share of mistakes as king. His banishment of the lions who supported Scar only serves to stir their resentment towards him and the kingdom. Furthermore, he mistrusts Kovu repeatedly, despite his and Kiara's attempts to convince him that the younger lion is trustworthy.
Daddy, please, listen to him.
Silence! When you first came here, you asked for judgment. And I pass it now. Exile!
Simba isn't malicious in his actions, but even so, his attempts to live up to his father's legacy cause a lot of needless conflict. And he's more like his dad than he thinks. Mufasa exiled the hyenas, which backfired in much the same way.
What about that shadowy place?
That's beyond our borders. You must never go there, Simba.
Number 9. Aladdin. Aladdin.
Morning, ladies. Getting into trouble a little early today, aren't we, Aladdin?
Trouble? No way.
Not a lot of characters in Aladdin come off well upon reflection. And while it was tempting to give this entry to the Sultan, given that his incompetent rule leads to many of the other characters' problems, we had to ultimately choose the title character himself. While he is a lovable rogue, Aladdin is also a thief, although for the most part that's forgivable. More importantly though, Aladdin attempts to deceive Jasmine and the entire kingdom in order to get what he wants, which is basically exactly what Jafar is doing.
You really ought to be yourself.
Hey, that's the last thing I want to be.
Okay, I'm gonna go see her. I gotta be smooth.
Granted, his motives are slightly better, since they're out of a desire for love rather than power, but he's still not exactly a paragon of virtue.
Why did you lie to me?
Jasmine, I'm sorry.
Did you think I was stupid?
No.
That I wouldn't figure it out?
No, I mean, I hoped you wouldn't.
Number 8. Woody, Toy Story. Listen, we love Woody, but we have to admit that he can come across as kind of a jerk, particularly in the first Toy Story film.
You are a toy! You weren't the real Buzz Lightyear, you're an action figure! You are a child's plaything!
The cowboy toy bosses the other toys around by virtue of being Andy's favorite. When he feels his position is threatened, he tries to take Buzz out of the picture and ends up creating even more problems for himself.
Wait a minute, You don't think I meant to knock Buzz out the window, do you, Potato Head?
That's Mr. Potato Head to you, you backstabbing murderer.
Now, it was an accident, guys. Come on. Now, you gotta believe me.
Then there's the fact that he traumatizes Sid, a nominal antagonist who's just a kid doing what kids do to toys. He had no way of knowing they were intelligent sentient beings because of their need to keep the fact that they're alive a secret. Unless they need to scare children, apparently.
We toys can see everything.
So play nice.
No, you play nice, Woody.
I think the word you're searching for is Space Ranger.
The word I'm searching for, I can't say because there's preschool toys present.
Number 7, Mr. Potato Head, Toy Story. 2 characters from one movie? Yep. Woody's jealousy may fuel plenty of conflict, but so too does another one of Andy's toys, Mr. Potato Head.
I know Andy's excited about Buzz, but you know, he'll always have a special place for you.
Yeah, like the attic.
Sarcastic and snide, Mr. Potato Head continuously needles Woody about Buzz supplanting him as Andy's new favorite. And then when Woody accidentally knocks Buzz out the window, Potato Head leads the charge in vilifying Woody for it.
Didn't want to face the fact that Buzz just might be Andy's new favorite toy. So you got rid of him. Well, what if Andy starts playing with me more, Woody, huh? You're gonna knock me out of the window too?
At every opportunity Woody has to come back, Mr. Potato Head is there to deny him. Is it jealousy? Or was Potato Head just that much of a jerk before meeting his wife? Whatever the reason, this bud certainly loves to stir the pot. Number 6, the elephants, Dumbo. The titular young big-eared elephant faces plenty of adversities throughout the film, almost from the moment of his birth, due to being different from his peers.
Is it possible?
Isn't there some mistake?
Just look at those E-A-R-S.
His fellow circus pachyderms mock him for his oversized lobes, as does nearly everyone else he encounters.
After all, who cares about her precious little Jumbo?
Jumbo? You mean Dumbo? Dumbo.
Although at first protected by his mother, they are separated when her protective nature is mistaken for general aggression. Despite being practically orphaned, Dumbo isn't taken in by his fellow elephants, who continue ridiculing him for a quirk of his genetics.
It's all the fault of that little F-R-E-A-K.
Yes, him with those ears that only a mother could love.
This leaves him without a support system and causes him to endure further embarrassment and hardships. He sure is lucky he has Timothy Q. Mouse.
Don't forget that we elephants have always walked with dignity. His disgrace is our own shame.
Number 5, The Enchantress, Beauty and the Beast. While we were tempted to choose the eponymous beast for this entry, given how many of his actions mirror the actual villain Gaston's, ultimately we found that the true villain of the story is the Enchantress, who curses the beast in the first place.
And when he dismissed her again, the old woman's ugliness melted away to reveal a beautiful enchantress.
After the prince rejects her request to spend the night in his castle based on her appearance, which is a disguise by the way, the enchantress condemns not only him to spend years as a monster, but also curses his servants to spend years as objects for literally no reason.
And as punishment, she transformed him into a hideous beast and placed a powerful spell on the castle and all who lived there.
Sounds like entrapment and cruel and unusual punishment to us.
You have been deceived by your own cold heart. A curse upon your house and all within it.
Number 4, The Nicelanders and Fix-It Felix Jr., Wreck-It Ralph.
It is what it is.
Good job, everyone.
Felix and the Nicelanders go hang out in their homes, which he's just fixed, and everyone, you know.
Sometimes people don't live up to their names. The Nicelanders, the inhabitants of the town that the title video game villain continuously wrecks, consistently exclude Ralph from their lives, as they believe that his role in the game defines who he is.
Happy 30th anniversary? They're having a party without me.
Similarly, they treat Fix-It Felix Jr. as a good guy, because that's his job. Speaking of which, while Felix is generally more kind to Ralph than the others, he's still rather ignorant of Ralph's feelings, and prioritizes the needs of the Nicelanders over Ralph.
Felix, pull yourself together.
No! Ralph, you don't know what it's like to be rejected and treated like a criminal.
Yes, I do. That's every day of my life.
While all of them end up treating Ralph better eventually, most of the film's events wouldn't have happened if they were just nice to someone they've known for ages.
I'm gonna wreck it.
Number 3. King Triton, The Little Mermaid. Disney movies feature plenty of overprotective parents, and arguably one of the worst examples of one, who isn't overtly an antagonist, is King Triton. Father of Ariel and the ruler of Atlantica, Triton displays a callous hatred for and prejudice towards humans.
You could have been seen by one of those barbarians, by one of those humans.
Daddy, they're not barbarians.
They're dangerous. Do you think I want to see my youngest daughter snared by some fish-eater's hook?
This causes conflict between him and his daughter, who is fascinated by them.
I tried to stop us. She wouldn't listen. I told her to stay away from humans. They are bad. They are trouble.
Humans? What about humans?
His draconian rule pushes Ariel towards reckless acts of rebellion to pursue her passions and escape his ever-tightening hold over her life.
I set certain rules, and I expect those rules to be obeyed.
But Dad...
Is it true you rescued a human from drowning?
Daddy, I had to...
Contact between the human world and the mer world is strictly forbidden. Ariel, you know that.
Additionally, had Triton not exiled Ursula for unspecified reasons, it's likely that Ariel would not have been able to turn to the Sea Witch for help. Though we'll grant that it may have been the villainess's lack of trustworthiness that led to her exile in the first place.
Yes, I do.
Number 2. Elsa and Anna's parents, Frozen. Elsa and Anna's parents, the king and queen of Arendelle, both love their daughters, but their attempts at helping them cause much of the film's conflict. Following Elsa inadvertently injuring Anna with her powers, the monarchs take Anna to some trolls to be healed.
Do what you must.
I recommend we remove all magic, even memories of magic, to be safe.
Although the troll solution and cryptic advice also factor into the unfortunate events that follow, the king and queen's misinterpretation of their advice leads them to isolate their daughters from one another.
Lock the gates. We'll reduce the staff. We will limit her contact with people and keep her powers hidden from everyone, including Anna.
It also causes Elsa to feel like there's something wrong with her, which is definitely something that should be avoided when parenting.
The gloves will help. See? Conceal it.
Don't feel it.
Don't let it show.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Peter Pan, Peter Pan.
Tink! Shh! Stop playing!
Tinkerbell may be an attempted murderer, but Peter Pan himself doesn't exactly have a spotless track record. Although he battles pirates, Peter doesn't really have the moral high ground when he does stuff like cut off his enemy's hand and feed it to a crocodile.
Did Pan show good form when he did this to me?
Hi, Captain. Cutting your hand off was only a childish prank, you might say.
Aye, but throwing it to that crocodile.
Even worse, if you think about it, Peter is an adult in the body of a child, who lures a group of kids away from their parents' house in the middle of the night to put them in dangerous, life-threatening situations.
Well, come on, Wendy. Let's go.
Where are we going?
To Neverland.
Neverland?
Peter's taking us.
Us?
Not exactly heroic behavior.
She says you're a big, ugly girl.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.